Hey loves! Welcome back to Scratch with Love. Made from scratch and sprinkled with love. Welcome to Scratch with Love with Chef Imani. Today we're going to be making mini sugar cookie fruit tarts. I hope you're ready. First step is to mix 1 cup or 2 sticks of butter. You want to mix it well just to make sure that there's no clumps in there. Once you're sure that all the clumps are out, then you could add your sugar. Next, we're going to add both white sugar and brown sugar. Just 1 cup of each. Now go ahead and mix it all together. And you want it to get as creamy as possible. You really could use an electric mixer, but more old school reminds me of my granny. So I try and keep to the basics. So next is going to be 2 eggs beaten, and that's going to help give the creamy texture that we're looking for with this sugar butter mixture. If you're like me, you make a mess every single time you're in the kitchen. Normally I have eggs kind of all over the counter, but try and keep it in the bowl as much as possible because you need as much egg in there. So when it looks like this, that's how you know you've mixed it enough. Next, we're going to go ahead and add the flour mixture. With the flour mixture, you're gonna have 2.5 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, and then you're gonna do half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And if you make a mess like me, do half the bowl first, mix, and then we'll add the other half after it's already mixed in there. So now we'll add the other half of the flour mixture. Alrighty. Once you have all of the flour mixed in there, it should look like this. If you have some that's stuck to your fingers, then you should add about 1/8 more of flour to it. So next we're gonna add vanilla and the pudding. So it's 1 teaspoon we're gonna use here. And it's vanilla pudding. And the pudding actually is just gonna help keep the cookies nice and moist for days on end. Normally when you make cookies, they tend to dry out after about a day, 2 days. They're a little on the harder side, but if you add the pudding, your cookies will stay nice and moist for at least 5 days. So this is a part that you can most definitely use your hands to mix. Kind of knead it in there a little bit just to make sure it's incorporated. So since today we're making mini sugar cookie fruit tarts, we're going to use a mini cupcake pan. But if by some chance you don't have one of these pans at your disposal, you can use any type of pan that you want. You can use a regular cupcake pan, your cookies will just be bigger, or you can use a pizza pan and make a pizza tarts, whatever's available to you. So just give it a generous spray. Before we put the dough in the tray, we're gonna go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and fill our cookie dough into the little mini circles. And this is the consistency that the cookie should be, but please, if the consistency does not come out exactly like that, don't be discouraged. It's taken me many times to get it like this, and sometimes it still doesn't even come out perfect for me. Practice makes perfect, but sometimes the perfection is unattainable. But go ahead, bake them, because you still might really like how they come out. I've been making these cookies since I was about 12 years old, and the base recipe always stays the same for me, but I always look for different ways to kind of make the cookie a little bit more unique. Sometimes I use a different pudding flavor, or I'll use a different topping flavor, different cream flavor on there. Just whatever your taste buds are in the mood for, you can do it with these cookies. They're ready to go into the oven. We're gonna go ahead and place it into our preheated oven of 350 degrees for about 15 to 17 minutes. You can go ahead and turn your oven light on about 2 minutes prior to the 15-minute mark, just to make sure that they're looking okay. Ready to go ahead and pop it.
It's okay.
Sorry. Mix it together. Sorry. Cheese is gonna
be smooth.
These little I'm telling you, these are gonna be great. So we're gonna let these cool for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're gonna push the tops in just to give it the cup effect. So what we're gonna use to push these tops in is just a tablespoon. Use whatever utensil that you have that will give it a hollow effect. Should take about 30 to 45 minutes to completely cool. And while they're cooling, we're gonna go ahead and get started on making the cream filling for them. Let's go. So we're gonna go ahead and make our cream filling now. First things first, we're gonna get 2 sticks of cream cheese that are room temperature. Now we're gonna go ahead and cream the cream cheese. So once you feel like the clumps are actually out of the cream cheese, we're gonna go ahead and add 2 cups of sugar into this. Once you've incorporated the cream cheese and the sugar and you make sure it's nice and creamy, we're gonna go ahead and fold in the Cool Whip. You wanna make sure to not cream the Cool Whip in there, because if you beat the Cool Whip, it's gonna cause the Cool Whip to become very runny. So you see there are 2 different colors in there. One is the cream cheese sugar mixture and one is the Cool Whip mixture. You'll know when you're finished folding it in once it becomes one color versus the 2. The final consistency of our filling mixture. So we're gonna go ahead and put our pastry bag in the cup just to give it some stability while we're filling it. Now if you don't have a pastry bag, that's okay. Believe me, sometimes I don't have them either. In place of pastry bag, you can use a Ziploc bag. Just fill it up and then you'll cut a little corner off of the bottom of the Ziploc bag and you can use that to fill it. So after all of our hard work, we're at the point of decorating so we can eat. These mini sugar cookie fruit tarts are some of my clients' favorite treats. If you want and you're local to Houston, give me a call. Information will be down in the link below and I can come out and cater your next event. You should be proud of yourself. You made these from scratch and you sprinkled it with lots of love. Let's see how good they turned out. Now Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment your favorite recipe, and share this video with a friend. We'll see you next time.